Welcome to the Highly Sensitive Podcast. I'm Lauren LaSalle, and I'm a former therapist. I'm a highly sensitive person and a self-care and empowerment coach for highly sensitive people. My goal for this podcast is to create a feeling of community, to be a supportive place for HSPs, and to normalize our experiences as highly sensitive people. Because I'm pretty sure we've all spent way too much time feeling like we're weird or don't fit in. Well, guess what? Here, you fit in perfectly. This podcast will give you tools to better understand yourself, to help you learn how to care for yourself as an HSP, and to start viewing your sensitivity as a strength. Thank you so much for joining me, and let's begin. Good morning, and welcome to the Highly Sensitive Podcast. I don't usually record in the morning, so this feels a little weird. I have had a sore throat for the past few days, so you can probably hear that in my voice a little bit. But that was not going to stop me from getting an episode out to you this week. So before I get into the episode topic, I have a few things to share with you, and I will link this directly in the episode description. I recently added to my website a free resource, which is HSP Self-Care Bingo. It's a bingo card with all different kinds of small self-care techniques that you can do. And I shared this with the Empowered HSP community, which is also on the website I will link to, part of the Empowered HSP membership. Anyway, so I shared the bingo card with the community as soon as I made it, and I had really great feedback from people that it's really been a helpful reminder to even pause and do something that seems so small, but really the small bits of self-care add up over time. So it's a great reminder to take care of yourself. It's sort of fun because I'm sure there are things on there that you don't naturally gravitate toward, which is what I found as well. I had a bunch that I checked off right away, and then there were some that I don't usually do. So in order to get a bingo, I had to step a little bit out of my self-care comfort zone and try something different. So it's really fun. It's free. You can download it. Like I said, I will link below. And I recently made a mini course for highly sensitive moms called the Highly Sensitive Mama's Guide to Sustainable Self-Care. Because as I mentioned in the last episode, I am sort of branching off a little bit, and I really want to offer support as well specifically for highly sensitive moms of little kids, because that's where I am right now. And I know that it is a huge transition. Self-care sort of like flies out the window sometimes. It can be really hard to prioritize yourself when you have somebody that you are taking care of all the time. So I wanted to create this mini course as sort of an intro to what I will be doing more of in the fall with my one-to-one coaching for moms. And I wanted to make a more accessible course and put out information out there that everyone can access. So this mini course is only $33. It is all text-based, so you can just read it at your leisure when you have a minute. The modules are not super long, so it's not overwhelming. It just gives you little actionable nuggets that you can implement in your life to really start to take care of yourself as a mom in a way that fits your schedule. So those are two new things that I have on my resources and courses page. Like I said, I will link those in the episode description if you are interested in checking those out. But now to get into the episode. So I'm sort of surprised I haven't thought of doing an episode about this sooner, because this is all about intuition and reading, learning more about being highly sensitive. I feel like you always hear that we have a strong intuition. And I think, even though that may be true, it's also a little more difficult for us to recognize or listen to our intuition, because sometimes it gets overpowered by outside voices. So just to sort of let you know what intuition is, if you're not sure, it is the inner knowing or the gut feeling that guides you, and there's no logical reasoning behind it. It's like you just have that feeling of just knowing something, even if you can't explain why. And intuition and connecting with your intuition is especially important for HSPs because, like I was saying, I think a lot of the time we have a gut feeling and then maybe we run it by someone and they shut it down, or because other people aren't highly sensitive, they don't understand where we're coming from and what we need. And so it sort of gets shut down over time. And I definitely found that happened for me. And so within I think the past few years have been able to really start to listen to my intuition again. And it's guided me in really good directions. So I felt like I needed to make an episode about how to connect to your intuition and why that is especially important as an HSP. So if you are able to strengthen and connect to your intuition, you can protect your energy when you sense that a situation isn't right. You can make decisions that are aligned, that honor your needs. And of course, I'm sure you know our needs are different than the needs of non-HSPs. You can avoid emotional overload by being able to distinguish between what feelings are yours and what feelings belong to other people, because we do tend to take on the feelings of other people. And you can begin to feel more empowered rather than second guessing yourself. And I felt like for so long I was always second guessing myself, and I really didn't need to do that. But I don't think I felt comfortable listening to my intuition. So when you're able to connect to it, listen to it, it will really help you be there for yourself and live a life in a way that works better for you. So I have 5 steps here to help you connect to your intuition. Number 1 is to create stillness and silence. And I feel like this might be sort of a weird thing for a lot of people to do, especially in this time and in this society, because we are constantly connected to things. I mean, you can listen to a podcast. Hello. You can listen to music. You can be watching things on your phone at any point of time. And so I think for a lot of people, they just don't have a place in their life for stillness and for silence. And I've heard that a lot of people, including myself, have sort of like aha moments and like big ideas come to them in the shower, or if you're just going for a walk, because those are times of stillness and silence. So that's when your intuition can really speak to you. So being able to just slow down intentionally, unplug, give yourself some space to listen. So you can do something like meditation, some deep breathing, spending time in nature, taking a walk, a quiet walk, not listening to anything. Those things can all help quiet your mind so you can listen to your inner voice. Number 2 is listen to your body. I'm sure you've heard this one. I know I've brought this up and I've had guests bring this up in many episodes, because your body gives you so many signals. Notice how your body reacts when you are making decisions, and you can probably tell if something feels like a no in your body or if something feels like a yes. So if you're able to tune into these sensations in your body, it can help you. It can help guide you toward what is right for you. So something that you can do that's sort of interesting right now is to think of a decision that is like a no-brainer yes. Think about that and notice how your body feels. Notice how your body reacts. Where do you feel certain sensations in your body? And then think of a situation that is like a no-brainer no. And notice how your body feels and reacts. And I'm sure it will be very different from when you were thinking of the yes situation. So that's a good way that you can sort of intentionally tune into how your body responds in different situations. So then when you are in a situation and you don't know maybe how you're feeling about it, you can tune into your body and think, oh, this is my no feeling. I know I feel it in my stomach feels tight, my chest feels tight, wherever you feel it, this is a no. Or you can say, oh, this is a yes. I feel light. I feel excited. I feel like fluttery in my chest or my stomach, whatever it's like for you. So try that and see what you notice. Number 3 is to practice journaling and free writing. By writing down your thoughts that you have, dreams, and just questions that pop up, those can reveal intuitive insights. You can try automatic writing, so ask yourself a question, try to just let go of actually thinking about it, and just freely write to see what comes out. So without thinking about it, ask yourself a question, maybe something you've been wondering for a while, maybe something about wondering about a direction you want to go in your life. Have that in your mind and just start writing. It would be interesting to see what happens. Number 4 is to trust the first feeling or thought, because usually your first gut feeling is your intuition trying to speak to you. And it's only after you have that initial gut feeling that doubt creeps in, that you start to overthink things. You try to apply logic to the situation. So the more that you practice trusting your initial response, the stronger your intuitive muscle becomes. And number 5 is to use your intuition in small daily choices. So you can strengthen it by using it in everyday decisions. So instead of overanalyzing things like what to eat, what to wear, what you want to do next, just take a minute and go with your first instinct. And this can build confidence in your ability to trust yourself. And it's a really easy way every day throughout the day to start connecting to your intuition. And I know that so many of us, myself included, tend to overthink things because that's just part of being highly sensitive, is really deeply processing things, which can be really great in some situations. But when it comes to connecting with your intuition, that's when you really don't want to be overanalyzing things. So I hope that all of these tips were helpful. I would love to know how this goes for you, how you are connected to your intuition now, and if you practice some of these tips, if you find that this is helpful. So send me an email, DM me on Instagram. I would love to know how this goes, how these tips are working for you. And if you know somebody that could benefit from these tips, please share this episode with them. I love being able to reach new people and hear from them, and it just helps me feel more connected with this community. So I would love to hear from you. Hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Highly Sensitive Podcast. You can help support the podcast by taking a minute to rate and review it, share a favorite episode with a friend, or become a subscriber on Patreon at patreon.com/highlysensitivepodcast. Visit laurenlassalcoaching.com for free resources, information about my coaching programs, and to join my email list. You can connect with me on Instagram at selfcarewithlaurenlassalle or email me at lauren@laurenlassalcoaching.com.